Dan, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm a fellow Northeastern Ohio guy. I'm 68 years old. I was laid off in April. I have been on probably over a dozen interviews, and I often get to the second and third interview, and then things fall through. And then recently, I was offered a job for about a third of what I normally would make, and I'm thinking about taking that job just because I need something, some sort of a transition type of work. And I just wanted to ask about your opinion about that. And then I'm thinking about going to some consulting. I do Lean Six Sigma continuous improvement work, and I'm thinking maybe I could get into some consulting. Thanks.
I think you're better if you can make it work with that third less comp. You're better off working and continuing looking. You're better. It's just there. In my opinion, you're better off doing that. Again, and to the whole theme of all this, boy, the number one thing to do is to network. So if you're working and you're in that space, I mean, you're going to be exposed to new people to talk to. That could easily lend itself to doing some consulting work, which at your stage of career, maybe that's the best way to go. It's funny. I talked to a guy at where I went to undergraduate college at, and he runs an insurance business, a manufacturing company, and he's a career coaching guy. Can't you get just one of these amazing individuals? Name escapes me right now, but we got on his calendar at 9:30 on a Saturday morning. We talked for a half an hour, right to 30 minutes. One of those guys. And he said, man, he goes, Matt, with what you do, you ought to just, whenever, when you're ready, you can hang the shingle out and you can charge people $350 an hour, and your calendar will be filled up and you'll be able to do as much of that as you want to do. And I was like, you got to be kidding. He's like, no. Because once you get established and you get people that know you and know what you're doing, he's like, he said, you'll be shocked at what you could do in this consulting role. So I would very much encourage you to go down the path. Do you have the LLC? Do you have all that established already? Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
But I really don't understand how to get my name out there and start consulting. I have friends who have left the business, have started consulting companies. Actually, for a couple of months at the beginning of the year, I worked with them, and then they lost business, and so I wasn't working anymore. I was working as a contractor for them. But anyways, sure. I'm just wondering, how would I'd rather stay local and help businesses in Northeast Ohio. How do I go about getting my name out there? I wonder.
Yeah, I'm figuring that out on how to market this book, to be honest with you. But again, it's not my full-time job just yet. When I hang it up in a few years from Timken, I'll go down that path. Best advice: networking, word of mouth. Talking to people that know you, know what you can do, is by far and away the most valuable thing you can do with your time. And people hear that and they freak out. Well, they start going to their phone. Pick 3 or 4 names. To get people to answer the phone nowadays is such a challenge. And we talk about leaving a professional message, a quick, succinct message, repeating your phone number at the end, and stuff like that, depending upon if you're going to a cell or a landline. And oh, by the way, greetings on your cell phones. Anybody out there looking or running a consultancy, always take the time to put a greeting on there. You can just say your name. You don't have to wish them a great day and all that stuff. But at least, especially for recruiters that don't have you in their phone, when they get the greeting, they're like, oh, okay, I did get Ava, or I did get Dennis, or I did get Fred. So yeah, definitely greetings on the cell phone messages is pretty important.
So Dan, I've got a question for you. You said you've made it 2 or 3 interviews deep, and or 2 or 3 interviews into a session, and then you don't land, you don't get the job. Have you done a practice interview with the practice interview team?
Because I haven't. I've watched many of them, but I haven't done an actual practice interview.
I would do that, because I think what will happen is, and I've seen, I've done over 120 interviews. Walt's done hundreds of them here. Well, yeah, I think he's in the 1,000 mark, Walt said. So, if you haven't done Walt's workshop, I would do Walt's workshop, because he will tell you exactly what to say. And, do a practice interview, and you need to practice more than once, because we found that if you're making it you're getting the interview, it's because your experience. You're not getting picked probably because there's something you said, or they went, well, I think he doesn't fit with what we're talking about. Let that practice interview, let them know that this is why you want to be interviewed. You're making it this far, you're not making it to the yes stage. And, you know, they'll conduct an interview just to more see if you want to fit versus, you know, you're qualified, because obviously you're qualified because you're getting the interviews.